Hey man, what it is? This is Dame, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App, $ Dame by any means. There go the PayPal at Dame by any means. It works. Show your boys some love. Y'all see that little heart at the bottom of this video with the $ in there? That's the super chat. You can press that at any time your heart desires. You feel what I'm saying? Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. Keyshawn Davis is fighting Gustavo Lemos, and I am very excited for this fight. Um, this gonna be a war that I think Keyshawn Davis is gonna make look like a clear fight. I hope Keyshawn Davis get the stoppage. I'm not gonna bank on the stoppage, but if I had to, I'll say anywhere from the ninth to the 10th round, I could see a stoppage for Keyshawn Davis, if not earlier. But if it goes past that, I see Gustavo. I see Gustavo surviving and losing 8-4, around that. I could easily see that 9-3, easily 10-2, whatever. But Keyshawn Davis, that's not what I actually came here to talk about. It's been news that had came out today. I've done a little research. Dame be over here on my nerd boxing stuff. And Keyshawn Davis's purses for him and Gustavo Lemon came out. Come to find out, y'all, Keyshawn Davis is only getting 75 to 100,000 for this fight. Gustavo might be getting anywhere between 50 to 75 for this fight. And it just goes to show you why I don't like Bob Arum. Keyshawn Davis is worth much, much more than that. Keyshawn Davis is worth much, much more than that. But at the end of the day, you're only worth what somebody's willing to pay you. And it's a sad part about boxing, man, because Keyshawn Davis is a notable name. You would think he was getting more bread than that, but he's not. And it's unfortunate because I feel as though the young man, I know he only got like 12 fights or whatever, but it's unfortunate that the young man is getting paid that, because I think that his name, he's not actually getting what he's worth. And he's headlining the card, and he bringing boxing back to Virginia. Shout out to Keyshawn for that. I'm a fan of Keyshawn, a big fan of Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn has all the tools in the toolbox, especially if he stay consistent. He stay in that ring. He stay focused. He don't get distracted. He don't get caught up in the narratives in boxing. I could see Keyshawn Davis taking the Bud Crawford route. He reminds me a lot of Bud Crawford in a lot of ways. He don't have as much power as Bud Crawford, but he reminds me of Bud in a lot of ways from the way they both fight and things of that nature. Just their focusedness in the ring, the way they use their power jab and power straights. I just think that he has a lot of Bud Crawford to his game. Now, do he got a lot that he needs to work on? Yes, I would love to see Keyshawn Davis go to the body more, because I think Keyshawn has a great attack as far as when he does go to the body. I wish that he didn't stand as flat-footed as he does. I tell y'all this with every boxer, you're going to hear Dean. The one thing I like about Vasyl Lomachenko is Vasyl Lomachenko uses those angles. He switches on you. He spins you around. And I feel as though every boxer should be adding that to their game, not just Keyshawn Davis, but especially the boxers that's at the lower weight divisions. But I just don't think that he's getting paid what he's worth. And it goes to show you that Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. have been capping this whole time, and they was dead wrong for turning down that Gerard in his fight, because there ain't an earthman alive that's dealing with Bob Arum that's going to make me believe that he was getting paid more than Keyshawn Davis, who the main event. And I know what people going to say, well, Dean, it was a title defense. I don't care. You want me to believe that Keyshawn Davis is getting 75,000 to 100,000 to fight Gustavo Lemon and be the headliner, but Brian Norman Jr. was going to get 150,000 more than him? I don't believe it. Sorry, can't do it. He's a duck. Sorry, I can't do it. You Earthmen could sit out there and believe that. But whatever he was getting paid, I know he wasn't getting 150,000 more than Keyshawn Davis to be the co-main, to be on the undercard. Do that make sense? I could see him getting that bread if he was headlining or at least being the co-main to a card that's bigger than the name of Keyshawn Davis. I would believe it then, but that wasn't the situation. So it goes to show you that Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Sr. been out here capping that whole time. They were scared to fight Jaron Ennis, and then look how the gods work. The boy get a hand injury. Ain't it amazing? I swear to God, I really think karma is real. Now, I ain't wishing bad on nobody. Bad already happened. I'm just saying I believe it's karma for sitting out here lying and capping. Same thing Devin Haney going through right now. Where you were so anti-PBC, it looked like PBC, and capping on PBC, it looked like PBC is your best option, my guy. I'm just saying, to get the bag that you want. I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, because, you know, Devin dropped his belt for the WBC. You got Alberto Puello over there. You got Raul Venezuela over there. You got Edwin De Los Santos, who called Devin out over there. Oh, yeah, and it's this other guy y'all may know, Gervonta Tank Davis is over there. But that's another video for another day. Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. is some damn ducks. Because ain't nobody going to have me believe that Keyshawn Davis is only getting $75,000, $100,000 for this fight, but Bob was going to pay you. This is Bob Arum we talking about. But Bob Arum was going to pay you $250,000 to be on the undercard? Listen, man, I got beachfront property in Idaho I can sell you. Absolutely, I do. You know? I could guarantee you it's going to snow in Miami if you believe that. They some damn Earthmen. And it's a shame because I didn't even think Keyshawn Davis was getting lowballed like that. So that means Keyshawn only been making 50,000, you know, whatever, prior to this. And it goes, and then I got to lead this fact to Keyshawn Davis, too. Keyshawn Davis, you done called Gervonta Davis a midget and all that. If you win that belt against Dennis Berinchek, bro, I don't want to hear about how much you think you're worth and money and all this shit. And you ain't taking this and you ain't taking that. Because, bro, you was making 75,000, my guy. So I don't want to hear nothing. If it comes to Gervonta Davis, I don't want to hear anything from Keyshawn Davis's mouth because Keyshawn Davis says he's different. Keyshawn Davis say he a warrior. Keyshawn Davis said Gervonta Davis a midget. So that midget offer you a $1.52 million guarantee. You better take it and don't say a word about it because you're going to make money on that back end. Probably leave with 7, 8, 9, 10 million like Frank Martin did. If you think I'm lying, just ask Frank Martin. And I believe if Keyshawn Davis get that belt, him and Gervonta Davis will be a bigger fight than him and Frank Martin was. Absolutely. I think you believe that too. That's listening to the sound of my voice. I believe that you believe that too. Absolutely. See, man, it's all good until facts get thrown around. Then people don't want to hear facts no more. So I want to ask you, Earthman, do you believe that Brian Norman Jr. was getting $250,000 to be on this card when Keyshawn is only getting 75 to 100? Gustavo Lemos is only getting 50 to 75, but he gonna pay Brian Norman Jr. $250,000. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. But that's what Brian Norman Sr. said. That's what Brian Norman Sr. said, and you ain't heard from him since. Like I told y'all, you wouldn't hear from him since if it wasn't about Jaron Boots Ennis. Have y'all heard Brian Norman Sr. or Brian Norman Jr. doing any interviews or anybody having panels talking about them or anything? You've probably only heard Dean talking about Brian Norman Jr. or Brian Norman Sr. since. Have you seen a Fight Hype interview or YSM Media or any of these other YouTube channels that people like? Have you heard Cigar Talk? Shout out to Cigar Talk. Go over there and like, share, and subscribe to my guy Najee because he's much needed in this boxing thing. I ain't gonna lie. He answers the question. He asks the questions that we actually want answers to. I ain't got no gripe with my guy. He's doing God's work. So I made this video for all the Earthmen because it was some interesting information that came out. And this ain't no shot at Keyshawn Davis because I truly believe I'm truly a fan of Keyshawn Davis. I like Keyshawn Davis a lot. I think Keyshawn Davis could be a superstar. Actually, he has the personality for it. He got the box game for it, and yeah, it ain't too much bad you can actually say about Keyshawn Davis in that ring. But the thing I will say, Gervonta Davis put that contract on your desk, my guy. You better sign it with flying colors. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear about the money or none of that. Sorry. Because I guarantee it'll be 25 times, 10 times, 15 times more than some 75,000, 100,000, my guy. I could guarantee you that one. I'll say at least 25 times more. Same way Brian Norman Jr. got offered 15 times. And y'all, I believe it's 20 times now because you're not going to have me believe that man got 200, 250,000 for this fight on this undercard. I just don't believe it. Title defense or not. Well, damn, the champions and title defenses, they get paid more. Yeah, he might get 50,000 more. And all of that is subjective. All of that is subjective. There's not no set price they give a champion because he's a champion now. And it's all based off a lot of different variables. Shout out the frequent flyer, them variables. Them variables. Y'all know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.